Hi, you're watching Rangefinder Magazine at WPPI. I'm here with Eric Wald, owner of acrylicpress.com. Eric, can you tell us a bit about Acrylic Press?
In 1948, my family started working with acrylic. My father started actually hand carving acrylic using a tool like a dentist drill to create some beautiful sculptures. And the very first thing that he ever carved was a rose. The roses, by drilling in deeply into the acrylic, the roses look so real and lifelike.
So that's interesting. And then you've expanded into photography products?
A few years ago, we had a lot of interest. We've always been a manufacturer in acrylic products, and a few years ago, someone had asked us if we can take an image and fuse it to the acrylic. And we developed a process called Acryliprint. We invented Acryliprint to be able to fuse an inkjet image directly to acrylic, completely bubble-free, without dust. It just makes images pop, makes them look beautiful.
And it's also a sort of a more durable process, right? An image can last a long time under acrylic?
Absolutely. Acrylic itself our acrylic that we use has ultraviolet inhibitors, so it keeps the images from fading. The acrylic protects the image. It just will look great for years. For 2017, we have a few products that we've developed. One of them is a hand-carved rose photo block. It's absolutely gorgeous. The photo block has an image on one side and a hand-carved rose on the other side. The rose is available either in the white natural carved look, or it can look exactly like a real rose. Just note that the rose is not actually in there. The rose has been carved out of the acrylic. It's really quite unique. There's only a handful of people in the world that do this type of this art form, and the art form is known as intaglio, or internal carving.
That's interesting, and it's done by hand, correct?
Each and every one is done by hand. They're individual works of art. No two are ever exactly alike. It's just where a painter would use a brush as his tool to create his artwork. We use a die grinder and a very sharp drill bit to carve through the back of the acrylic while looking through the front of it. So we're actually carving backwards, which is also quite unique. And the deeper we drill into the acrylic, the more three-dimensional it becomes.
That's interesting. So I noticed, looking at the booth, some of the roses are white and others are red. How do you get the color change?
That's a very good question. As I mentioned, the white is the natural look of the carving. As soon as you stick a drill into the acrylic, it turns white. Then we use syringes, just regular medical syringes with a dye that we've developed, and we actually inject it into the carving, and that's what gives the rose the color. So we'll use a red for the red rose and green for the green leaves. We'll add a little touch of different colors to give the shadows, so that the rose ultimately looks like a real rose that's been embedded in the acrylic, but I can assure you nothing has been put in there other than the dye. Everything has been carved out and removed. If you look at the back of the carving, you can see where the acrylic has been actually removed. And as I said, the deeper that you drill into the art, or into the carving, into the acrylic, the more three-dimensional it becomes. Howard has been carving since he's about 20 years old, so he goes back quite a long ways that he's been doing intaglio, or internal carving. And he was taught by Murray Wald, my father, who is also a master intaglio artist. There's only a few people in the world that actually do this artwork, and we're proud to offer this exclusively to the photography industry.